I think the Ruby is going to be for R7. They're in the XP lane up against Boots. But yeah, both teams have been set in stone. I actually have played this Claude in the gold lane before. I have matched up against Beatrix, and surprisingly, Claude wins out in a lot of these trades, especially all-ins. All he needs to do is wait for that level 4 power spec when he is able to get that Blazing Duet. Once he gets that level 4, he just Blazing Duets in every wave. He clears it out, and he looks for roams. He looks for something on the map with his team. The thing is, though, what battle spell is he going to use? Because me, personally, as a Claude player in the gold lane, I bring Vengeance. Oh.
Interesting.
So when you jump in, you use your Blazing Duet and use the Vengeance, so you are basically untouched, right? If the enemy decides to hit you, they will get damage as well. The only way you counter this Claude is if you CC him. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive in straight into game number 1 of the Grand Finals. Into the land of dawn we go. Hashtag Viva RRQ or hashtag Go ONIC right now in the chat to show your support. But in this game, Skylar will opt to go for the Purify. Again, he wants to get the most out of that Blazing Duet. Doesn't really want it to get cancelled out. So not the Vengeance this time.
I do think that makes sense as well. It is more of a safe pick this time around, understanding that the side of ONIC Esports, they do have a lot of CC in a way, because the Kufra can always be able to be there to cover for you. But as you can see here, Vin already very aggressive onto the members of ONIC, and this is exactly what you expect from a Hilda.
Yep, he just sprints away right now, and Sans goes for the chase. He most likely won't be able to catch him, and this is why the Hilda is just so disturbing. But Albert comes in.
Sans can't go anywhere. Albert's going to be able to pick up first blood with the help of Clay. There you go. The first blood by Samsung Galaxy A series picked up by RRQ. This is a sold-out crowd, and we can feel the atmosphere.
Beforehand, usually when we see mages being played in the mid lane, they go for the other emblems like the Magic Worship or even the Impure Rage. But this time around, we are starting to see everyone go for the Magic Shop. So I think they are going to be very impertinent on the fact that they really need to get these items early, especially Drian, who is the Sicilian, who is a very late-game hero. But in the hands of Drian, I'm sure it can pop off way earlier.
Exactly.
Well, Vin needs to be careful, though, because he went in very aggressively now. The chain CC comes in for the side of Sans and Keyboy, but it is going to be Albert back into the mop, coming in, jumping with the Defiant Blade. It is going to be Vin taken down. Albert does not decide to go and overcommit onto anyone. He does not get the gold buff. It's Sans who picks it up, and both teams disengage. ONIC equalize on the board.
Yeah, at the moment, ONIC Esports as well as RRQ Hoshi, they are equal in trades. They are equal in that gold. It is going to be shifting back and forth, but this next turtle is going to be a huge determining factor of who gets that early game lead.
Yeah, RRQ Hoshi lacks a bit of crowd control, as we mentioned already. So ONIC Esports has a bit more liberty in how they want to open up the map and try and contest the control over here. Just because the punish possibility is not as dangerous from the side of ONIC. As we say that though, Vin goes for the I'm offended hook, but does not get it.
Yeah, R7 wanted to get that pick with the help of Vin as well, but it seems like they are just trying to put in some pressure here towards ONIC, who already has started this turtle. RRQ looking to rotate. Albert has a little bit of an XP lead compared to Sans, so ONIC, they don't really want to take this right now. RRQ have the better pressure in that top side, but in the mid lane, it has been shoved in. Clay needs to go and micromanage it before he helps out in the top side. Vin opening out the map. Dawning Light is going to be coming out, but the Tyrant's Rage will connect onto Vin to silence his fate. Albert now jumping over the help of R7. Seventh Blade is going to be popped as he gets the kill. Keyboy will be forced to back up. RRQ once again get the favorable trade 1-for-1 and the turtle.
Yeah, RRQ Hoshi with the turtle and the trade. So now we're going to take a look a little bit at the talents.
Talents for Skylar, as you can see, is going to be a lot of movement speed to try and kite around these very dangerous fights. Vin, though, goes for a good mix of several different emblems, knowing that the Hilda can benefit from the majority of things, which is why it makes that Hilda pick so obnoxious. Right now, we are having a technical pause, so we have to see what exactly is the problem. But we can now talk a bit more about the composition, right? Because again, for RRQ, their only real crowd control is going to be that Ruby. That is their main engage tool. And we have seen a lot of teams just adjust and adapt, and they're able to avoid getting hit by a huge multiple member I'm offended and somehow come out on top.
Honestly, if we take a look at the composition from ONIC Esports, the I'm offended can land definitely on Baxia for sure. Masha, Kufra, and potentially the Beatrix. But you're right, the Sicilian is going to be a little bit harder in that sense. So RRQ Hoshi, they need to figure a way how to go into that backline and dive. And I guess that's exactly what the Claude was built for.
I think if they go with the Claw can go in with a Blazing Duet, and that's just the end of things if it lands on top of the Sicilian. Other solutions include using the Dawning Light to try and zone him before the fight even begins. But once, I don't know, man. For the most part, RRQ has a very good dive composition. They can send Albert on the link to try and deal with him as well. So it comes down to ONIC and how they want to deal with the dive in the first place.
I agree. It's all going to come down to the execution once again. We're already seeing that Skylar has put a lot of pressure into that gold lane by using the Blazing Duet to clear out the waves. Beatrix has no answer towards it. Can't really go for an all-in as well, considering that Skylar, every time he goes in, he uses the Battle Mirror Image. So he always has a very easy escape as well.
I'm a bit confused. In a 1v1 situation at level 4, what can Beatrix do against a Blazing Duet? The best thing she can do is build one.
No.
Wesker?
The best thing
Isn't Claude in Blazing Duet like immune? Or is he
Yeah,
he can absorb damage?
He can get damaged by anyone. So he can get poked down by the Sicilian, he can get CC'd by the Kufra, but most importantly, in lane against a Beatrix, Wesker damage. You use your Wesker, once Claude is in range, use your ultimate and burst him down so that he's forced to back up. You can't really kill him though, but you can force him to back up.
Well, it comes down to the distance management by Skylar on the Claude, because if he gets too close, that is dangerous, but if he's too far, then simply CW can just walk out of the range or just dash out of that range of the Blazing Duet. So it comes down, I think, to the influence of the other members as well. If there's a gang coming up, I think it's going to really benefit the side of ONIC more, because again, the CC difference means that a very well executed play can mean Skylar doesn't get to outplay anything and gets taken out almost instantly.
Yeah, there's more outplay potential definitely on the hands of Beatrix if you can actually utilize the Renner, the Wesker properly. It's going to be a hard time, a tough time for Skylar on this Claude. But the thing is, it's much more reliable to just play the Claude and clear out the waves. Play it safe, get the pressure, and instantly just roam. Play with the team, right? And the longer this goes, remember, Claude, once he gets that golden staff, DHS going, it's going to be really hard to stop that damage. But in the bottom side, there you go.
Ooh.
That's the Renner shot that you need to do to hit to be able to win this lane. Skylar, half HP, forced to back away.
Yeah, he has to clear those waves first though, or not he'll be behind in gold. And maybe that's exactly what CW was planning to achieve. But for the moment, RRQ Hoshi, they are looking quite equal with ONIC Esports, but they are leading with a 300 gold lead. This can be instantly taken away by the side of ONIC Esports, just waiting for a moment perhaps by Keyboy on the Kufra, as there are 40 seconds left for them to start setting up for the next neutral objective in that turtle.
Right, if they want to set up for this turtle, it will have to begin from the gold lane. But as we say that, Skylar gets taken very low, and this will mean he'll need to back away as Vin chunks CW down though with the Dawning Light. That is a lot of damage that Albert is looking to follow up on.
They do not care. Oh my god. 1, 2, and 3. That's the combo. But
Clay,
he's going to lose his life in the mid lane. Sans gets an amazing hit onto him with the help of Drian. He picks it up with the Retribution, of course, but it is just going to be both teams disengaging once again. Albert now looking for play onto Keyboy. Keyboy has the bouncing ball, so he needs to be careful. Sans looking for the shield unity. Albert getting away, but it's going to be the Times Revenge connecting on to Albert and also Vin. Keyboy gets out with a flicker, and both teams just disengage. But RRQ, they did not disengage for no reason. They're looking for the neutral objective, and Sans will be zoned out by Vin. It looks like it is just going to be a free, uncontested lore, a turtle for the side of RRQ, as we will see another pause in this game.
ONIC Esports were able to get that trade for CW, but unfortunately because of the retribution that was used, they weren't able to contest that neutral objective in that turtle. Which one is more worth it in your opinion? A kill or a turtle?
I think it depends on if they can use a turtle to good use, right? The buff allows them to have a bit more damage and a bit more shielding. So if they can use it to try and win an engagement and then get another objective that way, perhaps even a buff if necessary, I think it does benefit ONIC. But otherwise, shutting down the Beatrix from the early game, right, and making sure that Skylar, of all people, gets going, gets ahead, I think it's going to be very, very dangerous for the side of ONIC. Because later on, CW can instantly get one shot, as we discussed earlier, by the Blazing Duet.
Well, there is another technical pause here for the side of ONIC Arashi. But like I said, right, very, very user-dependent.
Very.
Yes, absolutely.
Beatrix, if the person who's using the Beatrix keeps on hitting that Renner, you're not going to play on any hero. It doesn't matter, dude. That range is insane, but in the mid lane, Boots is going to get ganked. He is actually going to be able to use the sprint and get out of that I'm offended. Clay uses the Dawning Light just to add a little bit more poke. But ladies and gentlemen, we are back into the game here as we take a look at the items.
Right. The Demon Hunter Sword already completed for Skylar. He is only slightly ahead of CW, who already has the Blade of Despair. So both of these heroes, right, the matchup, as Mirko mentioned, will rely on the sniper hit. If the sniper keeps connecting, that's a different story. R7 though, already with the Haas class, he has a lot more sustain, and he can probably stay in lane longer than majority of the heroes on the field right now.
Man, RRQ Esports, they are really good at equalizing that economy difference. RRQ Hoshi were leading with a 1,000 gold lead, but I think maybe the way that they're managing the waves or something, I'm not sure. Arashi, maybe you can fill in. They're able to not leave it too far behind, as it is going to be ONIC here pressuring that top side.
Might also be Sans just farming it up really fast, right? Because we all know Sans is notorious for farming well, but they make a play onto CW again.
This is the weak side of the map. CW is going to get ganked and popped there. Albert picks up all the blades, and he's able to dodge away from the bouncing ball. Skylar gets out. Keyboy is 1 HP. Albert misses, and this might be fatal. No! The Sanguine Claws and the bad impact connect for the side of Drian to pick up the shutdown on Albert, and that could not have gone to the worst hands possible, man. RRQ, they wanted that kill to be given away to perhaps Sans on the Boxia, or at least Keyboy, but it went to the hands of Drian.
I was gonna say that outplay from the side of Albert was so beautiful to watch. Keyboy barely made it until he instead was outplayed by Drian with that beautiful claws as well as that bad impact. It was a sight to behold once again. This is the grand final playoffs, and what? Drian gets obliterated off the board.
Yeah, R7 with a very well-placed I'm offended, but in the top side, 1v1. Skylar, you do not win this. Boots yells as he gets the solo kill in that top side. RRQ will be able to trade it here in the bottom side. Turret for Turtle.
It almost looks like as if they should actually trade it. Skylar should have blazing duetted the wave instead of the actual turret. That would have stopped Boots and actually bought a bit more time. RRQ Hoshi, though, they go for the turtle, they get it, and I think they do want to look for an opportunity to try and equalize that swing and momentum.
Masha pressure is so real there, as Keyboy actually misses that onto Albert. A really good read by the team of RRQ Hoshi right now. As look at Masha, she's just pushing for the next tower.
Yeah, I don't really like the lane swap that RRQ are doing here. I think they should have just put Ruby on top, stay on top, but I get what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to give Skylar more room to farm. Against the Beatrix, it is tough, but I feel like it's even tougher against a Masha who can just dive you. And as a Claw, you're not that mobile. Once you use that battle mirror image, that's it. But they will be able to zone out Boots from that top side. Albert looking for the dive, but Boots gets all of his 2 HP bars back. Albert will be able to jump on him. 1 HP bar left. They're going to be able to dive right now with the Tempest Blades popped. It is going to be Boots taken down, and Albert picks everything up. R7 flickers in the bottom side, trying to get a kill onto CW, who still has the Renner, is going to try to maybe look for some poke, but no, he just backs up. Tier 2 turret up top, taken down by RRQ.
Both teams are trading really well, but unfortunate for the side of ONIC Esports, RRQ Hoshi are pushing way into the base of the side of ONIC Esports in that top side. So 1 inhibitor left compared to RRQ Hoshi, who still has that level 2 tier turret in all 3 lanes, I would say. But RRQ Hoshi with a 1,800 gold lead, what have they been able to achieve?
Well, Clay has the Lightning Truncheon Clock of Destiny combo, so that already is a big detriment to the safety of Drian as well as CW. Vin already going for the full tank build, going for the Athenas, understanding that the burst will come in form of magical damage. But more than anything, I think the important part is Skylar finishes the Golden Staff Demon Hunter Sword combo. So now those Blazing Duets are going to be even more effective.
Well, R7 actually uses I'm Offended onto Keyboy. That's a lot of poke from the side of Vin, but the Renner shot will not connect. Skylar gets out of there. 2.4 thousand gold lead for RRQ. They're looking for more on the board here. Bottom side is being pressured by Vin and Skylar. He will be able to clear out the waves. They're setting up for this Lord, but Ling is still up there. Albert looking for the counter split maybe, just to deny that split push for the side of Masha. But in the mid lane as well, Vin, he is going to get chunked here.
RRQ Hoshi, they are so lucky that they do have that Ling to be able to do those counter pushes, because if that wasn't the case, it would be very difficult for RRQ Hoshi to you know, choose who goes where. The resource is available from the side of RRQ Hoshi is going to be limited, but now the fight for the turtle has begun. Sorry, Lord, even.
That was a mistake by Sans, man. He used that retribution, and that's going to be the Lord taken away now. Keyboy gets taken down. Sans caught in the bad situation right now as Vin jumps in. But did you see that Sans? He got way too greedy. He used the retribution for the Litho Wanderer, thinking that maybe RRQ will not commit onto the Lord, but RRQ, they saw it, instantly capitalized. It seems like a buy one, get one, right, Arashi? You guys can buy one, get one free movie ticket, plus 2 loot boxes with Sinopolis. MPL ID Season 9 now playing there. It's best of 7, so it's not too late to join in now.
Absolutely. And while you're at it, don't forget the 30% discount on the Emerald 1-1 that Mirko absolutely loves. Looking now at the difference, though, Albert is level 15.
Number
He
28,
just hit it.
Jakarta Zlatan.
Yeah, oosh. But compare that to Sans, who's only level 12. So RRQ Hoshi, they have the overwhelming advantage, and they don't necessarily have the worst late game. We talked about the importance of having a balanced composition. RRQ is putting it to the test right now.
Well, R7, he's opening up the map. He is going to get punished there with the Timeless Revenge and Rage connecting. Sans, oh my goodness, gets the shield unity, and instantly we see the follow-up from CW with that Renner. Well, Arashi, we stand for one. All-Star Showdown 5-1-5 is going to start soon, so is that we stand for one? Yes, it is.
And some people would say West and for
Yes, 100%. RRQ Hoshi now leading with a 3,500 gold lead, as we're also going to take a look at the players' gold here by Livin, by Mandiri, Albert, and Skylar there at the top of the charts, ahead of CW. So I guess RRQ Hoshi, they have been pressuring CW quite well, but of course it isn't too early to count him out just yet. For sure, he will have an impact, especially with all the Renner hits that he has been hitting. As the damage dealt by Axe here, Vin is actually at the top of the charts.
Of course, that is why the Hilda is just so annoying. And on top of that, it's going to be Albert, who is on his signature hero, so it's not really a surprise. But as we said earlier, for ONIC Esports, right, CW as well as Drian is number 3 and 4, so you can't really count them out of the game just yet. In a way, they are better in the late game in certain situations. So it will come down again to how these teams are planning to fight out the team fights in the late game. If they can get snipes in and they can get pickoffs where the bad impacts can do a lot of damage, they'll be just fine. And right there, I think Sans was able to secure the purple buff.
Sans was the one who secured it right there. He has the Demon Slayer emblem, so he will still be able to secure his own purple buff in the mid lane as well. We see some movements from RRQ, but both teams, they're playing very passively here because no objectives are up just yet. They do not want to lose their lead.
This is good for ONIC Esports. I mean, with the way RRQ Hoshi are kind of stalling in a sense, it does favor ONIC Esports. I've been observing Drian for the past few minutes, and he's been farming quite easily, stacking up just to get that hit, those bad impacts that will definitely hurt there in the late game.
Absolutely, but Clay already has his full core items, right? The Lightning Truncheon, as well as the Enchanted Talisman and the Clock of Destiny. So it's a lot of burst damage, and it's a very, very short cooldown. So now he can try and abuse that before the rest of ONIC is able to catch up. R7 also has an Oracle, so his regeneration is going to be huge if the members of ONIC Esports don't pour their damage and take him out instantly. But if they do so, they are putting in all of their resources to try and take out the Ruby, and they're leaving Albert to actually do whatever he wants.
Yeah, this is a very, very good move by both ONIC and RRQ. RRQ started it proactively, but the thing is, Boots was pushing that bottom side. They will lose out on pressure because Ruby will need to clear out the waves, so they back up, they reset up, they push out the waves, then they start it again. ONIC, they will need to respond to this because if they just keep on going for the split pushes, for the wave cut, it will not cut it here. RRQ looking for the play. Keyboy going to be able to pop that bouncing ball, but that's a very big resource spent already. Dawning Light connects on the 3 members, onto CW, Keyboy, and Drian. Albert jumps in, Keyboy gets taken down in the mid lane, and that's going to be Drian forced to back up. Albert picks up the kill, but Sans gets the retribution onto the Enhanced Lord. Albert caught low. RQ Skylar now trying to deal damage onto Sans with Boots coming in. The Dawning Light will take him down and pick himself up for a killing spree, a 4-for-0 trade. It was only traded in for the Lord.
For a Lord, and now RRQ Hoshi has also a tower in that mid side. More pressure, even 2 at this stage. And that's not good because now the fighting ground from the side of ONIC Esports is going to be close to nil as the inhibitor turret falls.
The Ivo Fennec connects, and that's going to be Sans taken down by the Dawning Light. The Evolved Lord has spawned. I mean, the Enhanced Lord has spawned. So they will still be able to stand in this game 14 minutes in, but that could have been the end.
Absolutely, man. It was very, very close. There was still 1 minute available. If RRQ Hoshi wanted to try for it, it was definitely a possibility. Right now, with ONIC Esports late to the respawn, they will be able to actually clear out that Lord and go back to the status quo where RRQ Hoshi is the one aggressing. They are the ones. They can just pressure ONIC Esports backwards using that Hilda pick.
That was so well, thought out of by the side of RRQ Hoshi. They managed to land the ultimate coming in from Xavier onto Drian as well as CW. And then the members from the side of RRQ Hoshi, Hilda, Vin, just went straight onto CW, tries to negate the pressure that CW could have, and it actually won them the team fight. So RRQ Hoshi, they're really going for their winning conditions, and they're implementing it rather accurately as well.
Absolutely. R7 now is still in the front, and this is why you can't target him. Now, the shoes on the other foot as RRQ, they seem to be trying to make a play for the purple buff.
Oh man, Keyboy missed his Tyrant's range. Albert is going to get engaged on, but Sans is way too deep. He's going to get melted down, but the downing line and Skylar just munching on him with that DHS. Albert will claim the kill, but in that front, Hilda is just buying so much time. He gets his I'm offended pop and
No way.
survives. Skylar with a blazing duet is going to get popped there with the Sanguine Claws as well. Albert will not survive, or maybe he will with the Tempest Blaze. It is just going to be a 1-for-1 in the end, but man, I think it was worth it for ONIC there.
I think so too. I don't know, I think it's a mistake for Skylar to go in so deep. Yes, he was doing a lot of damage, and he can, extend the duration of that Blazing Duet a bit more. But at the end of the day, even if he did extend it for 1 or 2 more seconds, that's not a lot of damage to ONIC Esports, because they are just going to go back to the base and heal up. I think if he didn't get taken out there, perhaps RRQ Hoshi can get more control and look to try and win the next fight instead.
I am curious. So the idea for RRQ Hoshi, in my opinion, was to use Skylar to go into that backside to be able to target and kind of kite down the HP of Drian and CW, right? But the fact is, when he goes in for that Blazing Duet, he can instantly be bursted down with a Bat Fee. So how does he endeavor around that?
Well, he needs to make sure that he comes in the right time, I feel like. Drian, right now, I think, was already at full item. So both these teams have been farming in a very efficient way. Both of them are essentially on the 5th or the last items. And now RRQ Hoshi, they have control over the Lord, and ONIC needs to make a decision and make it a proper one. If they want to go for the Lord or go for the fight. Because treating the Lord for a wipeout, not really worth it.
Oh, Vin, you are not that tanky to be able to withstand that damage. ONIC will capitalize, and they're looking for more. Clay and Skylar are very, very open targets for Boots. He is going to be able... Wait, R7 brings... Oh, Keyboy back with the I'm offended, but I feel like that was a mistake. Skylar jumps in, he pops him into nature just in time to get out. But man, this is not good for the side of RRQ. They lost one member, and they're still forcing fights.
The problem is RRQ Hoshi, every time they go in for a team fight, it has to be exact. The timing has to be to the dot, As soon as Xavier pops in that ultimate, CW does get taken down, but the fact is, CW is able to just heal back up, especially with so much lifesteal. So RRQ Hoshi, they need to be able to follow that up really quick.
R7 with the cancels and the I'm offended to bring all of them to Clay's immobilized, the Mystic Field. Boots now jumping in, losing 1 of his health bars. Will just back up with the 2nd health bar, still pretty healthy. Keyboy charging in that Tyrant's Revenge, will not choose to go for it. Both teams disengage, but Dawning Light will be there to reveal some of the positions and to poke CW a little bit there.
I do think that RRQ Hoshi, they might want to change up their strategy a little bit, because it's always Skylar going in first and then Albert trying to make the play happen. Maybe there's a point in Albert going in first because he can actually outplay and outmaneuver with the Tempest of Blades, whereas Skylar, if he gets bursted down as he goes in with the Blazing Duet, that is not going to work well for RRQ Hoshi.
Oh, they're mixed here. R7 went in for a play, but Albert was caught against Boots. It is going to be R7 taking down RRQ. Now, on the back foot, they need to find something on the map, because if not, ONIC have the man advantage. This time it's on to R7. I think a more impactful player in terms of the team fight rather than Vin. Sans looking for something here. He goes for the shield unity to zone RRQ members away. Clay can still steal this. They also have the help of Albert. Keyboy gets taken low, gets taken down there, but he still has the immortality. Time to play to be popped as well. Albert maneuvering himself out of there with the Finch Poise. Beautiful movement, but he is very, very low. Skylar jumps with the Blazing Duet onto Drian, and CW with the Wind of Nature is there. Vin takes Drian down, and the retribution from Albert! A double kill from Vin! They are wreaking havoc. Albert will lose his immortality, but it is all good. 3-for-0 in that fight. R7 died before the fight happened.
3-for-0, and now RRQ Hoshi, all 5 members up. It was a bad setup, honestly, for the side of RRQ Hoshi, but after that, the follow-up from them, the ability for them to think on their feet was definitely there. And instead, it was ONIC Esports on the back foot. They lost the Lord. They lost 3 members. Only 2 members up. Can ONIC Esports defend this one?
I don't think they can, man. And honestly, that fight, it was looking so bad. They were down 1 member, but you saw the play made by Vin as well as Skylar. They go into the back, they find that backline, and with the base damage from the Hilda, followed up by the Blazing Duet, they were just able to clear out the backline completely, and that essentially means the end of the fight for ONIC Esports.
It's tough. I don't know what happened. San seems to be complaining here. There might have been a problem. Oof.
It would be a very unfortunate situation,
Yeah, because it was such a clutch moment too. It was the Battle of the Retribution, 50-50.
Exactly, because one of the bigger moments in that fight is also the fact that Albert was able to secure that Lord, and then the kills afterwards as well. His immortality did get popped, but at this point, it's completely worth it. If RRQ want to go for the push, there is still minions in the middle lane, so we'll have to see. We saw R7 go to the top side to clear the wave as well, so I do think they're going to try and attempt to end. I'm not sure if ONIC can defend.
It's the Evolved Lord, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be tough to defend here. I mean, if we're taking a look, they have the Sicilian, but I'm pretty sure... Wait, did the Sicilian get taken down in that last fight? He did. All right,
Yeah.
Jian was taken down in that
Who's
fight.
left?
Boots, Keyboy, and Sans.
Yep.
That's all. That's 3 frontliners, man. I don't know if they're going to be able to clear out the waves
They
here.
might be able to buy time.
We'll have to see, because again, that's why it was so good, because the backline from ONIC Esports gets instantly picked off, and here we go.
Well, let's see. 3 frontliners against the world. Actually, 2 frontliners. Wait, Sauce was taken out here. Keyboy's going to get picked off next, and RRQ will lead the series with the Evolved Lord. 1-0, RRQ Hoshi.
Whew. What a performance, man. It was such a clutch game from both these teams. It was so even, and they were both farming so fast. It was like 17 minutes, and everyone was almost on a full inventory slot. So speaks volumes about the efficiency of both these top-tier teams, the grand finalists of MPL ID Season 9.
I'm wondering how many minutes that was because that felt so quick. Was it above 15 already?
It was 19 minutes.
That was a 19-minute game?
Yep.
Yeah.
That felt so
It did.
fast.
So much action.